Tom Cole,
and,
our head of pen test, does amazing things breaking into printers.
Yeah.
It's usually his first access point because often it's either very, like it has a default password or it has a password that's easy to guess or it hasn't been patched so it has an exploit.
My favorite story about that is when he was breaking into a linear printer.
Yeah.
And he tried to get into the admin interface and couldn't because they changed the password, but they had a supervisor account. And the only purpose of the supervisor account is to reset the admin password. Yeah. And then he was able to get in, have it relay. He got the email address, he got the password from it. And then from there, he was not only able to get the address book, but he was able to get into the email account that he used to scan. And the sent folder had all of the scans they had sent for like the last
so remember,
8 months.
when you scan to email, it needs your printer needs an account to do that.
Yeah.
And that password is likely saved on the printer. And so anybody who can get access to the printer can get access to your sent folder for every single thing that has been scanned and then emailed. So that's a really good point. But the bottom line is that, again, printers can store huge volumes of sensitive information. You're right. They're also an entry point to your organization or to a ton of sensitive information. And I think when you look at your remote work policies and when you look at how your employees manage data, it's really important to write that into it. So maybe we should jump into some of our key takeaways.
Let's do it.
Okay, so number one, I'm actually really excited about this one, is to reduce your reliance on unmanaged printers. So look at your workflow. Are you requiring people at any point to print and do a wet signature? And a lot of times people say, oh, it's no problem, I can take care of it. And you need to say, no. Use DocuSign or use some other kind of electronic signature because A, you can use cryptographic authentication. It's just better, frankly, than a wet signature. And then second of all, you don't have that extra copy of it sitting on a local scanner or printer that's in that person's environment.
Well, and like a big thing we talk about when we talk about data reduction is the reduction of data proliferation.
Yes.
And so when you have someone who has to print a document and then sign the document and then scan the document and then email the document, you're creating several different access points where that document can be identified.
Your data ends up in multiple places.
Yeah,
Part
exactly.
of the 5 data breach risk factors that we like to talk about.
It is, yeah.
Okay, number 2.
So we need to update our remote work policies to cover home and travel printing. I have had to print from hotels before. I've had to print from business centers, and I always feel really weird when I have to print something that I think even might be like a little bit sensitive, like not hugely sensitive. Like there are ways that we get around that.
Like a menu.
But like if I have to email inside, like FedEx as an example, if I have to print something from FedEx on the road, I have to email it into their system. They send me a code.
Oh, I feel so sketchy, and I'm like, it's only marketing material, but I still feel really.
But I have to retrieve it from the machine, and class documents or something like that. But I mean, account for that when you're talking about your actual security policies, because that information may have to be sent through a third party or something like that. And it may be printed out on a local machine, and the passwords for those are like 6 characters long.
Just assume they're everywhere.
Exactly. Just again, be prepared that might have to happen, and like have policies in place to cover if there is something sensitive that needs to be printed like on the go, like that. Yeah.
Speaking of which, require secure wiping or destruction of printer hard drives before they're disposed of. And think about how that relates to your remote employees. If your remote employees are printing things at their own residences, your documents are on their printers. And you can't just go, la, 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 it's not happening. Like, it's happening. Your data's there. So decide consciously, are you going to just leave it there? Are you going to restrict what they can and cannot print, which is what I would recommend?
Yep.
If they do print sensitive stuff, are you going to ask them to somehow wipe their printer? That's a little hard to do, but it can be done.
Can be, yeah.
So it's really, again, it's just really important to consciously think about that and make a conscious decision instead of just going with the flow and ignoring the problem.
Right, and if you're working through a managed provider for your in-office printers, make sure they have a secure way of actually wiping out those printers if they take them from your office and replace them, if you buy a new one, if you sell them back. All those things are available in your service contracts, like just make sure to look for them, especially if you go through a bigger vendor. But again, just make sure you understand what's happening to your data when it leaves your office.
Don't be afraid to push your MSPs on this a little bit. Like, are you sure it's encrypted? Are you sure it's properly disposed of? Because sometimes they're making assumptions and it's important to check.
Yeah, exactly.
We have found from experience.
Number 4. Okay, so implement secure enterprise printing with authenticated release. And this is a big thing. when I was back in the day, it feels like a lifetime ago.
Talk printer tech to us.
We'll go printer tech here. When a decade ago, when I was a printer tech, one of the big things we had to do, because we worked for government offices, we worked for law offices, one of the things that we had to implement in our environment was that secure print function. And basically what it means is you send your job off to the printer, but that does not print until you walk up to the actual printer and punch in a code. It's basically MFA for printers. And granted,
making sure that you, the human, are actually there,
exactly.
And it's not going to be left on a printer tray. Oh,
right. It's what we call the walk-away type of data theft, where something prints that shouldn't be out there, and somebody grabs it and just walks off with it. Yeah. And unfortunately, we see a lot of businesses that still suffer from that. I mean, you send a job to the printer, it prints, and then hopefully it's there when you get there. And if it's not, you send it again, and you forget about it, and nothing bad ever happens. No, I mean, pretty much every major manufacturer, and I'll speak from the premise of Econica Tech because that's what I was.
Right.
We had a system called PageScope, and you could set it up that you had to go in and you had to punch in a 4 or 6 digit code to actually get your print job back out of the machine. It tracked everything you sent to it. It tracked how many pages you printed.
Cool.
Like all of that was great. But if you have the opportunity to put that in place, do it. It is incredibly valuable, and it makes your system just that much more secure.
I like knowing all your printer tech secrets.
Right. Like, oh God, I have so many of them.
Finally, make sure you train your team. Make sure that everyone on your staff knows that printers are not just like random office equipment. It's not like the office vacuum. Your printer is also something that it could be a data risk. And so it's important for them to think before they print and to recognize that once you print something, that data resides in the printer potentially for forever, maybe. So you have to make sure that you're thinking about what's going to happen to the printer and that it's disposed of properly.
Agreed.
Thank you so much, everyone. Again, this is Sherry Davidoff.
And I'm Matt Duran. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time. We would love to hear from you. Thanks again for joining, and we'll see you next time.